fool us, where our next magician is ready to rock. Meet them now.
I'm Ren X from Salt Lake City. I've always been interested in both art and science. When I was little, I kept sketchbooks by my bed. I watched documentaries about space in my free time. I loved learning about how the universe worked. The first time I saw a magician levitating an object, I was captivated, and then disappointed when I realized it was fake. But something clicked in me, and I realized that the mystery in a magic trick is the same mystery that I love investigating in science. I'm a scientist specializing in cognitive neuroscience. I'm working on a PhD, and the process of making experiments to study the brain is weirdly similar to making magic tricks, to create a particular thought in another person. In magic, for the purpose of entertainment, and in science, to study the thought itself. If I merge art and science just right, I might be able to control the results and fool Penn and Teller.
Please welcome Salt Lake City scientist Ren X.
So as a scientist, I study the brain, how we think, learn, make decisions. And as I'm sure you're all aware, these things are complicated. And to be honest, there's still a lot we don't know. And so tonight, I'd like to do an experiment on our lovely host, Brooke. And use all the things that we don't yet know about the brain to try and fool Penn and Teller. Brooke, would you join me in my lab, please?
Love to.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And Brooke, don't worry, the electrical shocks only hurt the first couple of times, okay?
No problem.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding. They do hurt every time.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Now, my experiment's pretty simple. Brooke's going to be making a choice between her left hand and her right. And Brooke, to make this choice, you'll simply raise the hand that you'd like and hold it in the air like this.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
My goal is to guess which hand Brooke has raised. You can take your seat. Now, to prevent the possibility of any other variables impacting this experiment, cheating, I'm gonna position myself on the other side of this wall from Brooke. And while I'm at it, I'll blindfold myself as well. Now remember, using today's science, it would be impossible to guess which hand Brooke has raised. But perhaps that won't always be the case. Brooke, please make your first choice and raise one of your hands. Brooke, you can lower your hand if it's still in the air. You see, if I know what causes every single neuron in Brooke's brain to fire, then I also know which hand she has raised. Brooke, please make your second choice and raise one of your hands. And so a choice is really just a pattern of brain activity. If I understand the brain, I understand the choice. Brooke, whenever you are ready, please make one final choice. Thank you, thank you. Well, let's stay skeptical here. Every good experiment can be repeated. Brooke, you're welcome to stand up. But before we do, and some of you may have caught on to this already, there's something of a haunting idea hidden here. You see, if I know exactly why someone does the things that they do, then I would also know what they're going to do next. And so, Brooke, I am going to have you make another 3 choices. But before you do, I'm going to write a prediction of which hands you're about to choose. Now, I'm committing to what I think Brooke is going to do. So this doesn't need to be a blind test anymore. And Penn, would you mind keeping track of Brooke's choices on your notepad for us, please?
I sure will.
Thank you. Brooke, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna make your choices the same way as you did before. Just raise the hand that you would like.
Okay.
Choice number 1. Would you like left or right?
Left.
Left. And you got that, Penn?
Yep.
Choice number 2. Right. One final choice. Left. So your choices were left, right, left. Is that correct?
Correct.
Penn, yes?
Yes.
Now, we like to think that who we are largely depends on the choices we make. Brooke, I'm gonna have you pull this out, but keep it face down for now. But consider this. If you can predict what someone's about to do, then maybe there was never a choice in the first place. Penn, would you remind us one final time, please, what 3 choices Brooke made?
Left, right, left.
Brooke. Left, right, left. Thank you.
Next, everyone. I'm so fascinated by that.
Thank you. It took a long time to develop.
So you study the science of thinking.
I do, yes.
What is the connection between that and magic?
You know, magic, we study attention, kind of. We're almost like working psychologists. We're using attention to accomplish the tricks that we're doing. And then in a lab, I study the same thing.
Does magic still fascinate you or even confuse you?
It fascinates me more and more.
And your knowledge of magic, so much knowledge, that doesn't spoil it for you?
I think it makes it better. For me, at least. You know, I've heard someone say that we keep secrets for our audience, not from our audience. And I think that's a very telling quote.
Love that. Ren, you've definitely given all of us something to think about, but let's see if that's earned you a Fool Us trophy.
Okay.
You ready? Penn and Teller?
Hey, Ren, you really are a scientist, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah, I gotta tell that vibe come off you. And also, it's really nice how you weave that in and are able to do mentalism, which is what this is,
Yes.
without all the jive around it. And I really like that a lot. You have a playful premise based on reality that still doesn't insult anyone's intelligence. And that's really wonderful.
Thank you.
I gotta tell you, we thought we had you right away on the first part. We really did. We thought that you were peeking down the blindfold and seeing the shiny floor. Because the reflection we could see allowed you to see the hand. It would have worked that way, by the way, but then we realized he's not just gonna do this on a shiny floor. He's gotta have another way of doing it, another way of like having the old patent leather shoes that you glance at. I won't go into that. But you ended up using a rather high-tech method on the first part that gives us kind of this creepy feeling that if you knew all the neurons and all of that, you'd have this feeling that Big Brother was watching you from all over. And what's nice about using the high tech, although you could have used the shiny floor, is that you went really low tech on the ending. And we can't let you slide on that. We really got to focus on that. But the ending could have been done 200 years ago. And the beginning part of it could only be done in probably the past 15 years or so, 15 or 20 years. It's a wonderful presentation. I like the way you had this humble quality with still the brains behind it and some very, very clever tricks. And that's what we think about this whole thing. But I don't know if you think that you fooled us. We'll have to see.
I think there's a reason why you're the best. I think you got me.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much. And next time you do this, consider the shiny floor.
That would be smart, yeah.
Sounds like they got you.
They did. Thank you.
We sure love that, Ren. Thank you so much, Ren X.